Once upon a time, in the heart of the vast green plains of a land called Zoba, there was a king named Kwame. King Kwame ruled over the village of Ntebo, a peaceful village known for its golden rivers and fields of tall maize. But peace was not what King Kwame wanted. He was not like the other kings before him. He was cruel, greedy, and never smiled unless he was planning something evil. Every morning, Kwame would sit on his high throne made of ivory and gold, looking down at the people as if they were ants. His favorite pastime was taking things from the villagers, for he believed everything in the village belonged to him, from the cows in the fields to the fish in the river. If it grows in Tebo, it is mine, he would shout. But his greed did not stop there. Every full moon, Kwame demanded gifts from the villagers, gifts they could not afford to give. The villagers were poor farmers and hunters, but they feared the king's wrath, so they would give him their most precious belongings. Some gave their best livestock, others gave their only piece of jewelry passed down from their ancestors. One day, the chief elder of Ntebo, an old man named Boja, decided to speak up. "Great King Kwame," he said, bowing low before the throne, "we have given you all we have. Our children go hungry, our fields are bare, and still, you ask for more. Please, show mercy." Kwame's face twisted with anger. "Mercy? You dare ask me for mercy?" His voice echoed through the village like thunder. "I am the king, and I will take what I please. If you have nothing left to give, then I will take your children." The villagers gasped. Their children. How could the king be so heartless? Boja stood tall, despite the fear he felt creeping into his bones. "You cannot take our children, Kwame. They are innocent. They belong to no man, not even a king." But Kwame's eyes were already set. He raised his hand, signaling to his guards. "Take Boja away," he commanded. "He speaks too much for an old man." The guards grabbed Boja and dragged him off, while the villagers watched in horror, powerless to stop the cruelty. In the days that followed, fear spread through Ntebo like a sickness. Mothers held their children close, hiding them from the king's gaze. Fathers whispered of rebellion, but none dared to act. They had seen what happened to Boja. Then, one night, a strange thing happened. A woman named Zuri, known in the village for her wisdom and quiet strength, had a dream. In the dream, a great lion with golden eyes appeared before her. The lion spoke to her, saying, "Zuri, the king's heart is dark, and his greed will destroy this land. But you have the power to change the course of fate. Seek the hidden valley beyond the hills, and there you will find what you need to defeat him." When Zuri awoke, her heart was pounding. She knew this was no ordinary dream. It was a message from the spirits. Without telling anyone, she packed a small bag with food and water and set out on the journey to find the hidden valley. The journey was long and dangerous. Zuri walked through thick forests where the shadows seemed to whisper her name. She crossed rivers filled with crocodiles and climbed steep hills that seemed to reach the sky. But she did not stop. She could not stop, for the fate of Ntebo rested on her shoulders. Days turned into weeks, and Zuri grew weary. She had not seen a soul in days, and the food in her bag was almost gone. She began to wonder if the dream had been real or just a trick of her tired mind. But then, one evening, as the sun dipped low in the sky, she saw it, a narrow path leading into a hidden valley. The valley was unlike anything she had ever seen. The trees were tall and twisted, their leaves shimmering with a silver glow. At the center of the valley was a small pool of water, so clear that Zuri could see to the bottom, even though it was deep. She approached the pool cautiously, feeling a strange energy in the air. As she knelt beside the water, the surface began to ripple. Slowly, a figure emerged from the pool. It was the lion from her dream, its golden eyes glowing in the fading light. "You have done well to come this far, Zuri," the lion said. "But your journey is not over. There is still much to be done." Zuri bowed her head. "What must I do, great lion?" The lion's voice was soft but powerful. "King Kwame's greed is born from fear. He fears losing his power, and that fear has consumed him. You must help him see that true strength comes not from taking, but from giving. But be warned, the path ahead is dangerous. There will be those who try to stop you, for not all wish to see the king's heart changed." Zuri nodded, her resolve strengthening. She knew this would not be easy, but she could not turn back now. The future of Ntebo depended on her. The lion stepped back into the water, disappearing beneath the surface. Zuri stood, her heart filled with a new sense of purpose. She knew what she had to do. She would return to Ntebo and face King Kwame, no matter the cost. As Zuri made her way back to the village, she could feel the weight of the task ahead. The journey had changed her, and she was no longer the quiet woman who had left Ntebo. She was stronger now, wiser. And she would not rest until the village was free from the king's tyranny. But when she returned, things had grown even worse. King Kwame had taken Boja's son and many other children from their families. The people were broken, and fear hung over the village like a dark cloud. Zuri knew there was no time to waste. She gathered the villagers and told them of her journey, of the lion in the hidden valley, and of the plan to confront the king. Many were afraid, but Zuri's courage inspired them. They had been living in fear for too long. The villagers gathered their strength, and together, they marched toward the king's palace. Kwame, hearing the commotion, came to the palace gates with his guards. He looked down at the crowd, his face twisted with rage. "What is this?" he bellowed. "You dare rise against your king?" Zuri stepped forward, her eyes blazing with determination. "We are no longer afraid of you, Kwame. Your greed has destroyed this village, but we will not let it destroy us. The spirits have spoken, and your time as king is over." Kwame laughed, a cold, cruel sound. "You think you can defeat me? I am the most powerful king in all the lands." But Zuri was not afraid. Power is not what makes a great king, Kwame. It is the love and respect of your people. You have neither, and that is why you will fall. Kwame's face twisted in fury, and he ordered his guards to attack. The villagers braced themselves, but just as the guards charged, the ground beneath them began to tremble.